Hi, my name is Aaron McQueen, and today we're going to be going over Microsoft Dragon Copilot, the latest and greatest offering from Microsoft in the world of medical informatics and AI note writing. With me today is my partner in crime, Mark McIntyre. Mark, how are you?
Very well, thank you. Excited to be your patient today.
All right, so let's get right into it. So this is the Microsoft Dragon Copilot desktop application. For any who are curious, there are versions of this same program that run in your web browser and also on your iPhone or your Android device. Today we're looking at the desktop application, but it is flexible to multiple platforms. I'm going to go ahead and sign in. You'll notice I did not have to input a username and password because Dragon Copilot is able to integrate with my work login, so I can integrate my Entra credentials, and that takes care of that step for me. This is the main screen of Microsoft Dragon Copilot. As I see patients, my notes are going to populate over here on the left, and we've got some tools that you can use to keep them organized as you see patients over time. So let's get into it. I'm going to click this Create Patient Session button here. And this is going to take us to the start screen for a new visit. I'll give you a quick tour before we get into the patient visit itself. We've got a navigation ribbon up here at the top and then our control bar down here at the bottom. The navigation ribbon is going to show me my timeline. This is a action by action log of everything that I do within this visit, just in case I want to review any of those steps. I also can view my note here. Of course, this is where all the action is going to be. And then over here on the right, I have access to the transcript of the conversation when I see my patient, just in case I want to review it word for word. The workflow for Dragon Copilot tends to run from right to left across this control bar. I've got this button here, which controls what we call the ambient listening. So when I click on this, Dragon Copilot is going to start listening to the conversation. And then when I stop that recording, it's going to use everything that it heard to write that note. Just to the left, we have this AI assistant. This is where a lot of Dragon Copilot's advanced functionality comes in. I can essentially interact with the program as though it were a person. If I want to make refinements or changes to the note or request information, I can input those requests here in ordinary language. There's no special syntax or programming I have to learn, and then the AI is going to carry out those instructions. And then over here on the left, we have our dictation button. Just in case I want to add my own dictation in my own words into the note, I can dictate directly into the note inside of Dragon Copilot, but I can also click and dictate into other applications outside of Dragon Copilot as well. So let's get started. Mark, I understand you recently suffered an athletic injury. Is that right?
That's correct. I'm excited for this examination.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start our recording, and here we go. Today I'm here with Mark McIntyre, who comes in with a possible knee injury. Hey, Mark, how are you doing today? Sorry to hear you're not feeling 100%.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thanks for seeing me. So basically, I injured my right knee playing basketball. I guess it's been about 5 days now. Icing it, rest, elevation, tension, all that regular stuff, but it's still painful and honestly feels unstable.
Basketball game, huh? So was this a league game or was it like a recreational game? How hard do you play?
Oh, just it was a pickup game with some coworkers. We actually call ourselves the Warehouse Warriors. So, although I actually work in the IT department, but we were up 32-28 when it happened, so still claim we won, but feel like I lost at the end.
Hey, I think that's fair. I think you give that sacrifice to the team. I think you can claim the victory. Sounds pretty competitive. So what happened with the knee?
Okay, so basically I went up for a rebound, landed awkwardly because I kind of bumped into someone, and my knee twisted inward. So I definitely felt the pop, fell down immediately. Of course, everyone thought I was being dramatic at first, but it was instant pain.
Well, hey, that's game day for you, right? Did the knee swell up afterwards?
Yeah, I'd say probably within the first couple of hours, it was pretty swollen and stiff. Like I mentioned, I iced it that night while watching, game highlights they posted in our group chat.
Have you can you put any weight on it? Have you been able to, does it bear weight, or can you not stand on it?
Well, I can walk, but it definitely feels like it could give out again if I pivot. You know, I tried going upstairs at work, probably not the best idea, but I could definitely, it's tender.
Any sensation of locking or catching, numbness or tingling?
I wouldn't say there's locking or numbness, but it's just that instability and pain with twisting.
Right. And if you had to put a number on that pain from 1 to 10, where would you put it?
Um, Around a 6 most of the time, maybe an 8 if I move the wrong way.
All right. And has this knee ever been injured in the past, or any other prior injuries?
No, no. I mean, I sprained my ankle in college, which has been more than a few years now, but nothing with the knee up until this point.
Okay. Well, here, let's get you up on the exam table. Let's take a look. I'm going to examine that knee. I do see a moderate effusion. There's tenderness along the medial joint line. Range of motion is slightly limited in flexion due to pain and discomfort. I'm going to manipulate your knee a little bit. I'm performing what they call the Lockman test. All right. Increased anterior translation of the tibia compared to the left side, soft end point. So that's a positive Lockman test. All right, now I'm going to do what they call the anterior drawer, pardon me. Okay, and that is demonstrating anterior laxity. Let's apply some valgus and varus stress, to the MCL and LCL. Okay, so those appear stable. That's good. So posterior drawer test is negative. So based on the way you described the injury, that twisting with the popping sensation, swelling, instability, and then with that positive Lockman and anterior drawer, I'm suspicious that you might have an ACL tear.
Wow.
Yeah, so with an ACL tear, it is very possible. The ACL is kind of critical for rotational stability in that knee, but we are going to want to confirm it before we start thinking about treatment. To confirm the diagnosis and determine whether it's a partial or a complete tear, and also to look for any meniscal injury. So that's the tissue that's inside the knee joint and right around there. So I'm going to order an MRI for you. We'll get that done kind of as soon as possible. But for now, we want to sit out of any kind of additional athletic activity, try and stay off of it. And do you happen to already have, say, a pair of crutches at home that you can use? Or if not, I can order you some.
No, I'll definitely don't have crutches. Never been at this point before, but yeah, I would definitely love some. Any other home remedies, I guess, you can think of?
So I want you to continue to rest it and use the ice and then wrap it. So compression and some elevation, try and keep your leg elevated. And then use those crutches. I'll get those ordered for you for, whenever you do need to move around. I'm also going to prescribe an NSAID for pain and swelling, just to, keep it manageable, because 6 out of 10, doesn't sound too great to live with day to day while we're waiting for that MRI. And then, if it gets better or worse, we might go from crutches to a hinged knee brace to help you with stability.
Okay. Do you possibly see surgery in my future here? Are we there?
Well, if it's a complete tear and you want to return to sports or high-level activity, surgical reconstruction is recommended. We'll make that decision once we review the MRI results.
All right, I understand.
All right, now contact us if the swelling worsens, or if you find you're totally unable to bear weight, we can revisit and try and move things along.
Perfect. Thank you, doctor.
No problem. Feel better. All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop my recording. Dragon Copilot is going to get to work processing everything that it heard and turning that into the note. In the meantime, you might have noticed that I didn't have to tell Dragon Copilot where I want any of this information to appear in the note. It's able to figure that out on its own. So information that typically appears in the HPI, that's where it's going to be. Information that typically appears in the assessment and plan, it's going to be right there. It also is, and you'll see in just a moment, able to filter out portions of the conversation that aren't relevant to the medical visit. So while it's certainly going to document that Mark suffered an injury while playing a game of basketball, it's not going to bother documenting the score. So you don't have to worry about extra details cluttering up your note. It looks like Dragon Copilot is finished its work. We have our transcript, and then over here we have our note. You can see here we've got our HPI. Scrolling down, our review of systems, there's our physical exam and the assessment and plan. Now, depending upon my needs, this note may be ready to go into the medical record already, but I do have those additional tools that I can use to add layers of refinement to it. I'm going to start by changing the format of the physical exam to something that is more appropriate for an orthopedic visit. So I'm going to go down here. I happen to have this prompt saved for us. We're going to go ahead and input the orthopedic exam. Now, I did that with a couple of clicks, but I can also use voice commands here in this bar to take care of that task for me. You'll notice the little timeline circling lets me know that Dragon heard me and is doing its job. We'll give that just a moment to process and scroll on down. And you can see the physical exam has now been adjusted to line up with the needs for the orthopedic visit. It's got the lower extremities sorted out here. We've got our general heading, and then I've got some pertinent positives down here at the bottom. Okay, so let's add some dictation. So let's see, I didn't do any procedures on you, Mark, so I think you're safe there. How's your vaccine schedule these days? You fully up to date?
I am.
Let's go ahead and document that. Patient's vaccination schedule is fully up to date, period. Scratch that. Patient's vaccination schedule is fully up to date, period. Just like so. And again, at this point, I could choose to get this note into my medical record. And I've used all the tools that I have available to make it just right. I have it exactly the way I want it. But wouldn't it be great if Dragon Copilot could take all of these steps and do them all for me all at once right after I stop the recording, so I don't have to take those additional steps to add those layers of refinement? I've got some good news for you. It can. Dragon Copilot supports a robust templating engine that is very customizable. Nearly all of these note fields can be adjusted and changed to make the shape of the output arrive already prepared in exactly the way that I'd like to see them. I happen to have a fully developed template already made for our time here today, and I can't stress this enough, whatever your needs might be when it comes to the layout of the note, the style of the content, even the diction, Dragon Copilot should be able to accommodate you. I'm going to go ahead and apply that note style now, and we'll let that process. On top of just changing the layout of the note and the style of the content that it outputs, Dragon Copilot has access to a variety of credible outside information sources, medical guidelines, and so on, that it can use to perform advanced tasks on me. So when this template outputs, you're going to be able to see that not only is it able to rearrange the content of the note to line up with how I want it, it's also going to go out and look up the ICD-10 codes for the visit, and it's even going to give me an estimate of the levels criterion for that visit as well. Mark, what other sorts of fun highlights do we want to point out while this is processing?
Well, I do like people to know that, Aaron and I are definitely not in the same room together. We're actually in different countries, so let the wheels spin there. Whether you're doing, by phone, a telehealth visit, video conference, whatever it might be, Dragon's able to accommodate for that. I also want to point out too that you're able to have up to 10 different speakers in the room at a time, and Dragon is accurately able to identify between each individual. So say, a pediatrician with children, parents, maybe one of their nurses, whatever it might be. And then as well, you do get up to 75 minutes of recording time per encounter. So just want to point out a couple of those highlights as well.
Fantastic. Looks like Dragon has finished its work. Let's scroll down and see what this template looks like. You'll notice the HPI changed just a little bit. I've got some of these sections down here converted to bullet points, and then down in the assessment and plan, here's what I really wanted to show you. Right here, we've got ICD-10 codes all throughout the note, input wherever they might apply, and then we've got levels criterion right down there, we've got that analysis done for us. Okay, so now all I need to do is get this information out of Dragon Copilot and into the medical record. Now, as you might suspect by this point, I'm not actually a medical professional, so I don't have a copy of Epic or Athena or any of the other kind of popular modes out there that I can make use of. So we're going to use this text field here to simulate the medical record, and we're going to get this information into place. I've got two ways I can get the information across. The first and probably most familiar and straightforward are some integrated copy and paste tools. No AI note writer would be complete without them, and Dragon Copilot has them as well. Got this little copy button here in the corner here. When I click on that, it's going to grab that note section along with the heading, and I can head over to the corresponding box in my medical record and paste it in. If I'm in a position to paste multiple note sections all into one text field, sort of a single unified progress note, I can grab them all, or I can pick and choose. And then when I copy them out, I can paste them all at once. The second method makes use of Dragon's voice command technology. So as long as I'm using my desktop application here, I can put my cursor right into the medical record and transfer the sections by voice. Sounds a little bit like this. Transfer HPI, transfer physical exam, transfer results, transfer assessment and plan, transfer immunizations. And then I turn my microphone off. So by maneuvering around inside my medical record, I can deploy the note in all of its various sections wherever I need it. Which brings us to the last little hoop that we're going to get Dragon Copilot to jump through today. I know this one is Mark's personal favorite, and that is that it can create alternate documentation for you. It's not just a note writer. I can tell it to make all sorts of different information. I can use custom templates, so maybe I have a particular doctor's note that's formatted just the way I like it. I can input that template into Dragon Copilot and have it write that doctor's note for me. And just in case I don't happen to have templates of my own, there are some built-in alternate documents right into the program that I can have Dragon take care of. So for example, I can go down here and draft a patient-friendly after-visit summary that I can give to my patient on their way out the door so they know any instructions they have to follow once they get home. That alternate document is going to output to the timeline tab. I'm going to scroll down here. And when that comes through, there we have our after-visit summary. It has a short rundown of the results of the visit and also follow-up instructions and additional notes, all written in patient-friendly language so that Mark can understand it when he gets home. All right. This has been Microsoft Dragon Copilot. I appreciate everyone's time. Thank you, Mark, for helping me out. If you have any questions or if you'd like to take a closer look, please feel free to reach out to your representative, and we'd be happy to give you the grand tour. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye.